Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of ACCA, my mom, Laura DeFilippo.
How about that? Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so excited to have been asked to serve this expanding industry as the chairman of ACCA. I am very humbled to have been chosen and very honored to have accepted. Having spent many years on the board, I know that becoming chairman is not like accepting an award. It's committing yourself to a year of hard work, focusing only on the success of the entire contracting industry through ACCA. It's a challenge I can't wait to meet. I want to take a moment, thank you. I want to take a moment to thank Joe Nichter again for his extraordinary year of service. As you've seen over the last couple of days, the last year has been busy for ACCA and challenging for our industry. Under Joe's leadership, we've introduced some amazing new programs and laid the groundwork for a very different ACCA. Thanks, Joe, for your leadership, your advice, and your friendship. Now, when you look at Joe, and then you look at me standing up here, you probably see one big difference between the two of us. That's right, you guessed it. He's a commercial contractor, and I'm a residential contractor. Okay. I'm also a woman. And I have to admit, it is exciting to be the first woman elected chairman of ACCA. We have definitely come a long way, baby. But I really don't want to make that big of a deal out of it, because in the end, differences don't matter. What matters is what we all have in common. We're men and women. We're black and white. We're Republicans and Democrats, Bills fans and Eagles fans, and none of those differences matter. We are all contractors, and we are all ACCA. Joe Nichter's company employs 400 people. My company, 12. Joe's company is strictly commercial. Mine, strictly residential. You might think that two companies couldn't be any more different. But you know what? Joe and I have worked together closely on the ACCA board for years. We become friends as well as colleagues. Over the last year, we spoke on the phone all the time, got together in meetings, and worked together to advance ACCA. The weird thing is, despite all these differences, we're in complete agreement on almost everything. We both agree on the priorities for the organization and the changing needs of our industry. We both support the strategic vision created by our board. And we are both passionate about the entire contracting industry, not just our own companies. I mention all of this because I think it sums ACCA up. What does ACCA stand for? It stands for all contractors of all kinds in every community. Through my work with the ACCA board and the Chapter Relations Committee, I've met and talked with a lot of contractors, even the ones who don't regularly attend events like this one. These contractors have shared a lot of things with me. Some commercial contractors think ACCA is only concerned about residential contractors. Some residential contractors think ACCA is too concerned about commercial. Some small contractors think ACCA is for big contractors. And some big contractors think ACCA is for small contractors. You know what? In a way, they're all right. ACCA is focused on residential contractors, commercial contractors, small contractors, and big contractors. Our membership runs across the board, and we think every contractor is valuable. Every contractor deserves a shot at success, however that contractor defines it. Now, I didn't come into contracting because it was a childhood dream of mine or anything. I was born in a blue-collar suburb of Philadelphia, an only child to two great parents, and all I really needed to do when I was a kid was to sing and was to dance and was to act. And yes, I was one of those kids in the color guard in the high school marching band. Okay, I admit, that's kind of dorky, but I loved every minute of it, even though it required a lot of effort. Every day we spent hours in rehearsal. Every day we ran 5 miles, rain or shine. But it was there that I learned that work doesn't seem like work when you're passionate about it. I got my start in contracting when my husband Vince asked me to help with his company's books. I started off writing checks once a week. You know, writing them by hand in one of those big books with the carbon copies. Then his secretary took a couple weeks off for vacation, and I volunteered to fill in. It was then that my eyes were really open to the possibilities of contracting. You see, I spent a few years in the late 80s working for the Vanguard Group. At the time, Vanguard was way ahead of the curve as a progressive company, offering on-site education, profit sharing, an open atmosphere, a real spirit of teamwork. Spending time at Vince's company, I saw a need for someone to work in the business who was focused on the business side of it, not the technical side. I could help the company using what I had learned working at Vanguard. So one day turned into 2, and then to 3, and then 5. And then without really making any plans, I woke up one morning to discover that I'm a contractor. I'm just like you. I work every day in the business. I train and coach staff, I talk with customers, I negotiate with vendors, and I make payroll. Our business has made it through a lot of tough times, and a lot of it is because of ACCA. Utility deregulation in Pennsylvania is what first led us to ACCA and the Quality College in the 1990s. Today, we still practice many of the principles we learned there. There was a split in the family business in 2005. It was a rough period emotionally, but because of what we learned from other contractors here at the ACCA conference, we knew we didn't have a choice. And that decision is why we are more than twice the size we were back then. Someone once asked me, what's the hardest part about being a contractor? I said, doing the right thing every minute of every day. As a person and a contractor, I want to be the very best. And that includes being brutally honest, especially with myself. That means treating people with kindness and respect, even when it's difficult. And it means trying to always do what's right for everyone, especially when the mistake is on us. The thing I love most about ACCA and the ACCA conference is right here in this room. It's all of you. Do you know how much it means to be in a room full of contractors who also believe in doing the right thing? It means the world. It pushes me and Vince and our whole company forward. When Vince was elected fire chief, I was asked to take his place on the ACCA Delaware Valley Chapter Board. I accepted as a way of saying thank you. I don't know where we'd be without the context and knowledge we've gained from ACCA, but we wouldn't be running a successful business. Saying thank you is why I have continued to serve on the local and national level. I think all of us who gain from ACCA's work have an obligation to give back. If we don't, who will. I am so grateful to all the people who've had an impact on my life. None of us get anywhere on our own. We are all created by the people who teach us and the role models we follow. I've been so fortunate to have many great influence in my own life. From Miss Bynek, my 5th grade teacher, who showed me I could sing, to Ray Isaac, who showed me how to chair the Professional Development Committee. From my local chapter, which has always supported me and taught me, even back when there were very few women involved, to my mixed group, an amazing group of contractors who care not only about their businesses, but the world. My mixed group has taught me about my business, but they've also taught me that we need to be grateful for every day for what we have, and to help those who have less. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank the employees at DeFilippo Service Company. I could never take on this responsibility without having such a strong team at home. Thank you. I'd like to thank Paul Stolnick, the most amazing association CEO we have ever had. We have moved in directions that I didn't even dream possible when I first joined the board. Paul has taught me that it's okay to be a tough cookie and not to be afraid to go all Philly when necessary. I think many members would be surprised at how much work Paul and the staff have had to do over the last 10 years to get us to where we are now. Thanks, Paul. And the rest of the ACCA staff. I have been so lucky to work with them. This is the best staff in DC. They live and breathe for making ACCA and the HVACR industry better for contractors in every way. I'd like to personally thank each of them. I have to thank my parents. I am who I am because of them. They've always taught me to be myself and don't worry about what anybody else thinks. When I lost my dad a couple years ago, it really changed how I view life. It's too short not to love and live fully and to never forget what's really important. My mom is the strongest woman I know. She's kind and thoughtful, but she's also tough, and she doesn't let anyone tell her what to do. Thank you for everything, Mom. And of course, my talented, wonderful kids. The 2 things I've done right in this world are being mom to Marcus and Lexi. They are always my priority, and I'm so proud of what they are growing up to become. Marcus is just like me. Well, all the good stuff anyway. And he shows me that we are kind and caring, funny and crazy, focused and passionate. And Lexi, well, she's much more like Vince. She's taught me dedication and hard work, and she's shown me that we are most ourselves when we are doing what we love the most. Marcus couldn't be here tonight. He's at college taking midterms this week. But I am so glad to have Lexi here. I've traveled the world with her, supporting what she is most passionate about. Tonight, she shared that with you. And now, she gets to see what I'm passionate about. Lexi, I'm glad to have you here to be part of this. Now, what can I say about Vince? I think behind every strong woman is a confident man. I could not do what I do, could not be who I am without his love, support, and respect. The fact that he believes in me is all that I need. Over 22 years, we've had a lot of highs and lows, but we are always first and foremost a team in business and in life. Thanks, Vince. I love you. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you, board members, committee members, chapter leaders, corporate partners, conference attendees, ACCA members. All of you have had a huge impact on my life and my family and my business. And I promise to serve this association well so it can keep doing the same for you. Remember, we are all contractors. We are all ACCA. And why are we contractors? I believe that we are contractors because we love our families. Contracting is what we do to provide for our families and reach our goals so our children can reach theirs. I promise that ACCA will never forget its real mission, which is to make life easier for all contractors so we can focus on what's important and love our families and achieve our dreams. Thank you, and God bless each of you.